Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my first Q&A for this week, leading up to next week's episode of The Walking Dead Season 6, which is Episode 10, The Next World. And spoiler warning, as usual, if you haven't seen the mid-season premiere for The Walking Dead Season 6 yet, Episode 9, No Way Out. So this one, going Episode 10 now, we're going to be mostly talking about in this Q&A Episode 9, but a little bit maybe of Episode 10. It's just that the thing is, it's just such an epic finale for that story, right? For that story arc. I mean, even though it's not a season finale, even though it's not placed at the end of the season or close to it or the end of a mid-season, let's say, like a mid-season finale, this one was kind of set up in the mid-season finale and going with a different sort of formula. I guess it's just kind of the way the episodes worked out. They brought us the finale of what I would say is like the initial story of Alexandria. So the initial story of Alexandria, which starts in the second half of Season 5, goes through all the way into Season 6. You got the stuff with Glenn, Nicholas, Deanna, and all these other characters, Reg and everybody, Peter, the Andersons. Finally, the finale of that in Episode 9, and man, was it ever epic. To grab a couple of your guys' comments and to start the video off basically saying, I don't know if The Walking Dead can get any better than that. I mean, it's like we've talked about best episode ever a bunch of times, like I talked about in my reaction video. But this one's just like, they keep setting new highs for the show in terms of, now there's some people who say like they think The Walking Dead was better at the beginning, and maybe it's a nostalgia thing, but if you go back and watch some of the earlier episodes, as I have many times now, you guys have seen, I've been doing throwbacks for years for some of the Season 1, Season 2, Season 3 stuff. If you look back at those episodes, compare that to the scale of what they're doing now, it's just, there's no comparison. I mean, in episodes where we thought we had seen a lot of zombies, No Way Out just it brings it to a way. You just have zombies everywhere, and it's just even more than ever before. You have more character deaths happening in a single episode than ever before, and meaningful deaths too, like deaths where you feel it, the emotion is there. When you see. Again, like I said, spoiler warning. When you see the whole Anderson family and what happens with them, I mean, it's just brutal. I think they really, in the last season, made us care for these characters. They really made us think that maybe there could be something serious between Jessie and Rick, maybe a long-term type relationship. And it just worked out perfect on Valentine's Day for them to have it all come crashing down. So they've just taken everything to another level, and it's like, can it really get any better than that? I mean, I just feel like, it can't. One comment was from a role player, Michonnne. It says, this is the best we can get. We can't ask for more. And exactly. That's exactly what we're talking about, is that it's gotten to such an extreme. Like we thought No Sanctuary was probably one of the best episodes they're going to do. Too Far Gone, the finale for the governor. But I got more emotion out of Episode 9 than I did out of Too Far Gone. And it was the finale of the governor's story arc. Maybe it's just because, they've just stepped it up. They've made us care for more characters, and they've done it in such a fashion and made it so exciting. And I was listening to the theme from the end of Episode 8, which is that leads into No Way Out. Really awesome theme. You can look it up on YouTube. It's like the old school zombie movies, like the Romero, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead movies. The theme music sounds just like it. Just all these little touches that they're putting in, characters being set up, and then us not seeing it for a while. Like Denise, right before we had the episode where she had a little bit more time, and it was a slower episode, and we were like, I don't get it, it's not that great. But the setup now, it comes to fruition when you see Episode 9, and she comes in and she takes charge right away, and she's ready to help Carl and get this and do that and do this, and she's telling everybody what to do right off the bat. She's taking charge. Just making us setting it up so well in that earlier episode for her as a character, and then bringing us some just some awesome development from her in such a short period of time. So the writers for The Walking Dead doing an incredible job. Nicotero, of course, directing and doing all the zombie stuff, being in charge of all that. As an executive producer, guy is amazing. Without him, The Walking Dead really wouldn't be what it is. I mean, they could do it, but it's like, you wouldn't get that artistic touch that you get in, and the zombies looking as gnarly as they do. He just really puts in that takes an extra mile. So as this user said, I don't know, man. I mean, maybe when Negan shows up, we could have an episode that's better in his first appearance, but we can't really ask for much more, because at the end of the day, it is a television series, and if you compare it to most other TV series out there and what they're doing and the stories that they're telling in that, there are very, very few that really get into, I would say, the complex drama, the character development, the scale, and just everything The Walking Dead does, to the point where you have them building whole little communities and sections and things like this to make it look that real, to make it fit and everything. It's just amazing, man, just incredible. So it might be, will it go down as the best episode ever? Well, the thing is like, I'm thinking, like, up until now, yeah, but in the future, if they keep on this kind of path, then eventually they're gonna raise the bar again. Like, this is the bar right now, and then they're gonna take it another level higher. So man, still buzzing from the episode. Still an incredible episode. I enjoyed the hell out of it. So to go through some other comments with you guys, and yes, I say at this point, I think it's the best episode they've ever done, for sure. Cumulatively, when you include all the different deaths and everything and storylines and everything, man, it was just incredible. This one's from P Solo, and it got 44 thumbs up. And I think it's a he, said, Jessie didn't die. If you look close enough, you can see Nicholas is on top of her. I had to include that one. I thought it was so great. And that's something, too. Like, they kind of faked this out because they had the Glenn part earlier. And we all thought Glenn was dead at first, or most people did, probably 90% viewers. And then after second viewing and stuff, he comes back. And then in this case, it's like, okay, now we get some real character deaths. And I've seen a few people in comments questioning it, that type of thing. Evan Ritchey says, this is a story they're going to tell as one of the best moments with Eugene. That was pretty great. And again, just the scale, the amount of characters, how developed the different characters are. They've just done such an incredible job. I mean, you always have, like, well, maybe not always, but Rick is your front guy, and he's the most developed. He's the one that has, the best story, I'd say, overall. If you look at the Walking Dead all the way through, the most complex and most attention's put into his story. But you have all these other characters too that are really, they weren't even from the beginning, but you're really starting to care for them already. Like, even Denise, I was surprised. I was like, wow. When she's in trouble and stuff, it's like, you care, and that's great, because a lot of shows, like, certain characters might get killed off. It's just like, whatever, who cares? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Next one's from Jellos 104, and he or she says, did you notice the part where Carol shoots the alpha wolf and he tackles a walker to help Denise get away? I think they were trying to show he was actually changing, and that is why Carol pauses after seeing that, thinking for a split second Morgan might have been right. And I've seen a lot of this talking and stuff after I did my review, because I do agree with Carol. Turns out there are a lot of people out there that agree with Morgan, that think he deserves a second chance, this type of deal, or at least to be kept in captivity and kept alive. Here's the deal, though, and yes, you're right. They see, again, that's all the detail they put into every single character's story. It plays through, and he is, he's protecting her, and not just, because of his own skin. He's protecting her because, that's part of every man that wants to protect their woman. If she's the closest thing he's had, then to one, then and just I guess. Out of kindness, as an act of kindness, if he figures he's screwed, he might as well help her survive afterwards. So, that's true. However, if they had gotten away, if they had left, the situation may have been different. We don't know what he would have done to her. We don't know how he would have treated her. I mean, you have to take into consideration, yes, he was changing, and that's true, and people have a profound effect on each other. But he caused this whole mess to begin with. I mean, he is responsible for the zombie herd going off course, right, to begin with, showing up at Alexandria, because otherwise they may have been able to lure them all out, basically, without them breaking off from the truck horn. And, pretty much, all the people that his group had killed there, I mean, that didn't really need to happen. If he was a better survivor, if he was a nicer person earlier on, he could have talked to Morgan, he could have introduced himself and been friendly with him. Maybe they would have found Alexandria, and they could have asked if they could join and pull their own weight, go on runs, do run jobs and things like that, and just have a place to stay where they don't have to worry about zombies, and integrate themselves in, doing it the right way, doing it in a peaceful way. So he's responsible for everything. He's responsible for all the Andersons' deaths except for, well, Peter. Yeah, Peter. The ones that died in this episode. He's responsible for what happens with Carl. It's the ripple effect. Everything comes out of his decisions and what he decided to do. So you can't go that easy on him. He is a mass murderer, and his actions have caused all of that. So you get into this question about the death penalty and stuff like that, and even in real life and that. But yeah, I think in their situation, leaving him alive, unless you can lock him up and ensure he never gets out, which is a tough thing to do in a zombie apocalypse. Unless you can do that, I don't think you should be hurting each other over it, that kind of deal, and Morgan should be doing that. So I still agree with Carol. That's my point. But yes, he was changing afterwards. But he'd already done so much to begin with. Does it really matter that much? Maybe for Denise it does, but aside from that, not really. That said, I did like it. I like what they did with all of it. It's an interesting discussion, and they do that as well too. They bring in some interesting questions in terms of the drama that have viewers on different sides. The Randall case, right? Shane and Rick, who do you agree with? Which side are most people on? And it may be different now than what it was when they first saw it in season 2, knowing what happens later on and what kind of characters are out there in the world. Yeah, we'll do a couple more. This one's from F.C. Schaefer, and he says, best episode ever. It'll do until another one comes along. And I wanted to include that because absolutely true. He's got it. He nailed it right here. It's best episode they've done, but we should stop saying ever at this point because it's like, should we expect it to be outdone at some point? It's almost like, yeah, we pretty much should expect it to be outdone because that's how good this episode was. And we have no reason to think why it wouldn't just get bigger and badder and better. I mean, imagine all-out war, in this type of, with this type of budget and this type of attention and writing and care. It's going to be incredible. So season 7, season 8, man. Oh my God, it's going to be just insane. We'll be having this discussion, best episode yet, in like season 8 or something. If we'll probably get there. Season 7's confirmed already, and I'm sure we'll get to 8. Okay, we'll make this one last one. This one's from Jeffrey Perkins. He says, just a couple of observations about the episode. One, I agree with you. On the other, I don't. I hated the flashing of Jessie's Jessie highlights when Rick was, chopping off her hand. It seemed jarring and out of place. Maybe not out of place, but forced insertion. It was cheesy and overkill for that specific moment. If they did the slow-mo fuzzy production, it would have been better. That being said, I love the first-person killing zombie montage for the fact that it came across like scenes from a comic book. Yeah, that was great. If memory serves me correctly, that was the exact sort of thing they did at that point of the comics across multiple pages. Yeah. That's you're right. It was very comic booky and it just fit perfect and it looked great and it was extremely well done. Well, that was Greg Nicotero directed the episode, so you have to consider too with that many zombies in. Here's the thing, he directs a lot of the episodes. He's directed some of the best episodes they've ever done now. No Sanctuary was one of them in the premiere for the season. They used to have Ernest Dickerson. He used to do some of the bigger ones too. I think he did Too Far Gone. And he's a great director. I don't know why he's not doing it anymore or why we haven't had him on for a while to do one of these bigger finales or premieres. Here's the deal. Here's what I think. Greg Nicotero has already got too much stuff to do with all the zombies and all the effects. He should be there for each episode, but he should be there focusing on his thing. Yes, he can direct it. He's a great director. I love some of his episodes are the best in the entire series, no doubt about it. But they should have somebody else working with him to do that part while he can focus on, the other part, right? So anyway, that's my thoughts. I think that yeah, he can do it all. It's amazing and everything like that. But it's a good thing too to give somebody, he's already got enough stuff to do with that many zombies and everything, overseeing everything. He's probably got enough to do to be doing all of that and the effects and everything like that and focusing on that rather than just the directing as well. So I don't know. Sometimes his episodes, some people don't like it. Like people got confused in No Sanctuary with the then and now stuff. People didn't like the black and white stuff in the premiere for this season of kind of then and now to show. I like his artistic. Sometimes he takes a little bit of chances. Sometimes it can be a little bit tricky to follow. Like No Sanctuary, to be honest, I got a little bit confused with the then and now stuff when I first saw it. But he does an incredible job. And like I said, he's probably got enough to do as it is. I liked all the stuff he included. Maybe you're saying that he could have improved. They could have improved on the scene where Carl, the massacre scene, including Carl and everybody. Maybe, that's like I said, maybe the eye shot could have been slow-mo and shot from a better angle and stuff, and I don't know. It's tough. They put so much into the episode. They only have so much time to finish it. They just went for broke, and they included so much stuff that, we gotta be, at season 2 pacing, this would have been like half an episode or less, for this stuff. It would have been like, probably 2 or 3 episodes easy. So, it is what it is. I like the flashing because it represented kind of Rick's vision of it, and as he's doing it, maybe they could have put a first-person view of her as it's happening and seeing the hand, but I don't know, man. It's maybe they have both angles and they just chose to use this part because it looked better than the other one the way it turned out. Because again, it's just a TV show; it's not a movie, so sometimes I think we get even a little bit too picky than we should be for what it is. It's so incredible. So that'll be it for today's Q&A. Continue to send me your questions for tomorrow's, guys, or the next day, whenever. I'll probably have one tomorrow for you. Or definitely the next day, but probably tomorrow. So keep sending me what you got. Please don't be offended if I didn't pick your question. We only have, I've got hundreds today to go through, and I just was able to grab these different ones quickly to put a video together for you guys for tonight. But send me what you got. Don't let that stop you from sending me what you have in terms of questions for the rest of the week, and hopefully I'll pick yours. I'll go through them and pick whichever ones I find that seem the best at the time. Hopefully one of yours will get through. So please don't forget to do that. And that's it for today's. If you missed any of the videos, we did like 4 videos. We did like a top 5 best moments. We did a review. We did a reaction. We did a predictions video for episode 10. Awesome time to be a fan of The Walking Dead, guys. It was just an incredible premiere, and this will probably go down as the best season ever, beating out season 5 for me, season 6. If you guys like this video, you can thumb it up below. If you want to help support the channel, you can share, you can favorite, and if you're new and you want to sub, you want to subscribe, you want to join in and see all the different videos in your subscriber feed, go ahead and subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for today's. See you guys again tomorrow, the next day. As always, it's Trev saying peace.